I talk about some thermostats that I have kicking around here to maybe give you a little bit of an idea, a little clue of exactly what a thermostat is, what it does, how it works. There's all different types. They work all different ways. The newer ones are totally electronic. They work totally different than the old style ones. This one I have right here, one I took off of my furnace last week. It's from the 70s actually. It's very old technology. This one here works with a magnet and a spring. The springs are sensitive to temperature, and like most metals or anything, when they get hot, they expand. When they get cool, they contract. A spring does that too. So you can take advantage of that by attaching something to the spring that you want to move. And you would want that to move to open or close a circuit. And if you use this with a heating system, you would turn your furnace or heater on and off by using one of these switches. And it's pretty basic. Like I say, this one here, this is the old one. I'm going to put it together somewhat right now. Here's your dial that you turn to adjust the temperature you want. Now, when you're turning that dial inside here, basically, there's a spring I just told you about. You're adjusting the tension on that spring. And if you look close here, let's see if I can show you right here. There's a magnet on the end of that spring. And what it does, if you look inside this tube, this glass tube here, you'll see that the magnet pulls a piece of metal that's inside the glass so that it closes and touches another piece of metal. And that's what's called a closed circuit. When it's not touching the metal, it's an open circuit. It's sort of like maybe like a drawbridge. If you have a highway with cars going across it and the bridge goes up, that would be an open bridge. The cars can't continue on. Let's think of the cars as electricity. It cannot continue on if the bridge is open. So it's an open circuit. When the bridge comes down and closes, the cars can go through. It's the same thing with electricity. Once the connection is made, it's closed, electricity can go through. So these are just switches that are used to open and close the bridge, basically. And the spring is the key thing, which causes that to happen. And there are a lot of different ways that they actually make the connection, but the spring is the key. This is the old one, which has a spring and a magnet in it. This one here is a little bit newer, but its technology is quite a bit different than that. It still has the spring. If you look inside here, this one's a little rougher to see the spring. It's behind there. It's behind this round thing, which is used to adjust the temperature up or down. When you do that, you're adjusting the tilt of the spring. If you'll notice in this one here, you're seeing something silver move around. That's mercury. That's silver liquid mercury. It's actually a metal and conducts electricity very well. It's also the thing that you hear about all the time. Everybody's so afraid of that it's going to get out in the atmosphere and destroy the earth and everything, because it is highly toxic. And you're supposed to dispose of it properly. And I'm sure everybody's heard that before. But it works well in this switch, because what happens is when there's two wires here that are separated, and then when the mercury comes down and touches the wires, let's say this is the mercury, it touches the wires, it makes a connection. It closes that bridge again. It closes that circuit. So now electricity can come through here and continue on through. And that's what the mercury does. Liquid mercury actually closes a circuit and turns your furnace, your heater, on and off depending on the spring and how you have it set. that's how these things work. They're, like I say, they're just switches, on and off switches. The old style, that's all they are, it's on and off switches. They're adjustable. They work primarily on a spring, and the spring controls, something is attached to the spring. As you can see, this is a tube with mercury and 2 wires inside. The other one, which is much safer for the environment, this one actually is no danger to the environment, no risk, uses a magnet, which is pulls on another little piece of metal that's inside the tube. It's the same thing. The spring is the key thing, because that will move depending on the temperature around it. So that's how these work. The newer ones, like the one I just put on my heater, is totally electronic. It's different than these. It's just totally different because you can program those ones. The only one I have to show you is on my furnace right now, and there's not much to show to something that's electronic, something that has a circuit board in it, because an electronic with circuit boards, nothing moves, so you can't see anything move like you can in these. These are actually mechanically moved by the spring to open and close a circuit. If the lighting was good in here, I could use my voltmeter and attach it to one of these and show you. If I attach one lead on there and one on there and move this back and forth, I could show you on the voltmeter the circuit opening and closing as I did that. I tried to do it a little bit earlier, but the lighting's just not good enough where you could see the numbers on here. And basically, when you go to check a circuit with a voltmeter, you put it on the continuity section, and it tells you whether you have a closed circuit or an open circuit. It's useful for a lot of things. You can check fuses with it. You can check light bulbs. You can, if you're mechanical enough or savvy enough, you can take a circuit board off of anything and play around and follow it and see how the circuits run and what ones are open and what ones are closed. You can basically figure out the whole thing if you wanted to. I do that a lot. I figure out a lot of switches and relays and stuff just with this thing, just with one function off of this thing. But that's how they work. That's how thermostats work. Basically, they're very simple. They're switches. They turn heaters on and off, or ACs on and off, or fans on and off. Anything like that. Basically anything temperature related to cool down or heat up, that's what they're best for, because of the spring that's in them. And that's how they work. So I had a few people ask me about that, so I figured I would make this little quick video and let you know. I wish I could have made it better. I only have a cheap voltmeter. If I had a different style that had the little dial on it, you maybe could have seen it better, or you could see it. I maybe try some lighting and give you a different demonstration sometime. But that won't save you any money, but it'll keep you from being bored if you want to get one of those and play around with it. Alright, have a good one. See you in the next video.